It was a dark, freezing night on the border. The wind howled through the mountains as if warning of something terrible. Far across the river, hidden deep in enemy territory, a secret base was alive with lights and movement. The enemy was building something powerful, a weapon that could change the balance of power forever. Inside the U.S. command center, alarms flashed red. The generals watched the satellite feed in silence. One man spoke softly, "If that weapon goes online, thousands will die." Another voice, calm but firm, answered, "Then send him." The room fell quiet. Everyone knew who him meant. Ethan Kane, codenamed the Silent Warrior. He was a legend inside the Special Forces, a man who spoke little, acted fast, and never failed a mission. He had no family, no friends, no attachments. Some said he'd lost everything in a past mission. Others said he chose silence to escape his demons. Whatever the truth was, Ethan's only language was duty. The commander handed him a small device. "Cross the border, destroy their weapon. No backup, no extraction. You're on your own." Ethan simply nodded. No words. He strapped on his gear, checked his weapon, and walked into the darkness. The night swallowed him whole. For miles he crawled through mud and snow, hiding from patrols and drones. Every movement was precise, every sound avoided. He was the ghost they feared but never saw. Hours later, he reached a hill overlooking the enemy base. Through his scope, he saw the massive facility, fuel tanks, generators, armed guards. But then he saw something he wasn't told about. Behind the base, a camp, rows of cages. Inside them, American soldiers, tired, beaten, starving. Ethan froze. This wasn't part of the mission. His orders were clear: destroy the weapon. Nothing else. But those prisoners, they were his brothers. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Mission or man?" Then he looked again at the cages. His jaw tightened. "Man." Ethan moved like a shadow through the camp. A guard lit a cigarette, a soft click, a flash, and the flame died with him. Another turned his head, a silent strike, and he fell. Ethan was a storm in the dark. By dawn, every cage was open. The prisoners stared in disbelief. One of them, Captain Miller, asked weakly, "Who are you?" Ethan replied in a low voice, "No one. Get out of here." Miller whispered, "We can't leave you." Ethan didn't even look at him. "You already have your freedom. Now let me earn mine." As they escaped into the forest, Ethan turned toward the enemy base. Smoke rose from the chimneys. Soldiers shouted commands. He knew they would soon realize what happened. He planted the first explosive near the power grid, the second under a fuel truck, and the third near the main control tower. Each tick of his timer echoed like a heartbeat. But then the alarm. The enemy had spotted him. Bullets ripped through the air. Ethan sprinted behind cover, returning fire with deadly precision. A shot grazed his arm, blood soaking his sleeve, but he didn't stop. He climbed onto the control tower, set the final charge, and looked around, hundreds of soldiers closing in. Over the radio, his commander's voice broke through static. "Ethan, abort. We'll send help." Ethan smiled faintly. "There's no time." He looked at the detonator in his. He pressed the trigger. The explosion tore through the night. Fire lit up the sky, turning darkness into day. The ground shook for miles. And then silence. When the rescue team arrived the next morning, the base was nothing but ash and twisted metal. Among the ruins, they found a burned dog tag. It read, "Ethan Kane." Next to it, drawn in the dust, were the words, "Silence is my victory." The commander stood in silence, staring at the wreckage. He whispered. He never spoke much, but when he did, the world listened. And somewhere, far beyond the mountains and smoke, a single flag waved in the cold wind, the sign that the Silent Warrior's mission was complete.